So it relates the fact that even in handbooks, in accordance with the Senate standing rules and in accordance with the clear provisions of the United we do that all by ourselves. And doing that, the first point of all is for the Senate president to step aside. For him to step aside, because he cannot be a judge or in his own court. He is the respondent, Senator Kofi is the respondent in Natasha's petition. He has to step aside. He cannot be a judge in his own, on his own court. So if they don't want to, if they don't want to follow, if they don't want to follow the law, simply they can apply political solution. One Natasha, in that former River State Council Assembly and former local government chairman. They will
Even at 10 class will start.
I pray. Later we tip there. I pray that I don't know. Tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń revise. Ó sì ń pè dáadáa. Iṣẹ́ yẹn ó gbò. Iṣẹ́ yẹn. Mo ò gbàdúrà ká túnṣe mọ́.
Understanding.
Good morning, everyone. I assume that all the departments are here represented. Dr. Pius Adejo will be taking today's class on understanding and managing social relationships. Dr. Adejo, I thank you for accepting to be part of the team. Over to you, Dr. Adejo.
Thank you, Prof. Good morning to all of you students. I'm glad to be part of this class. I hope we are ready to get sailing. Thanks once again. So like you heard, my name is Dr. Pius Adejo. I'll be handling this topic titled Understanding and Managing Social Relationships. By the way, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So we are going to be here for the next 2 hours. And so I think it's important that we try to maximize the time available to us. And to be able to do that, I think the first thing to do is to say that all of us should please mute our microphones so that there will be no interferences from the background. Take note of your questions and then the comments. I'm going to, at a point, yield the floor to you to be able to ask your questions and then to make input. If that is understood, then we can, commence this discussion for this morning. Once again, the topic before us is understanding and managing social relationships. We are social beings. Being human beings, we are social in nature, meaning that we exist and function best amongst ourselves with other people. So it's important that we understand the importance of social relationships. It's important that we understand how to manage such relationships. By the way, what I mean by social relationships simply refer to the connections that individuals as human beings make with one another in society, be it at the family level, be at the level of friends, be at the level of colleagues at work, or even in church and in different, settings in society. Those connections we make with one another are the things that we put together to describe as social relationships. So that's what we shall be engaging with this morning so that we can gain a better understanding. And then let me also say that it is not every course or every topic that we'll just be concerned about writing exams and passing. There are topics that mean much more than just writing exams and passing. One such topic is this one, social relationships. If you understand this and then you manage it well, it will impact you positively as you move forward in life. So let's go on. Now, I've tried to describe what social relationships mean, but let me also reiterate it here. It simply means the connections and interactions that individuals have with others in society. And then these relationships vary in types. For instance, if the relationship is among family members, it can be among friends, it can be among colleagues, it can be among romantic partners. It varies, therefore, in terms of the type of relationship that we are involved in, and then it also varies also depending on the level of intimacy or closeness. Some are formal, some are informal, some are intimate, others are not very intimate, but ultimately, understanding social relationships and managing them are quite important. You know why? The reason is because the quality of our relationships, whether at the family level, at the level of friends, at the level of colleagues, and the level of romantic partnership, will impact our mental health. It will impact our emotional health. Indeed, it will influence everything about us, ranging from the level of stress we have, and then the level of satisfaction we have with life. You have heard about people going into depression, you have heard about people becoming suicidal, and all those negative tendencies. Some of them happen because the quality of social relationships they have may not be the best. Where you have maximum, if the relationship is of high quality, chances are that people will be emotionally stable. Chances are that people will be, less suicidal. People will be, able to cope with the challenges of life. But where these things are not there, the impact on our mental and emotional health will always be there. However, we discover that our world is increasingly changing in terms of complexity, in terms of the demands on our time. So because of this, intense demand on our time and engagements with a lot of things, it's becoming quite challenging, to be able to nurture and maintain our relationships. I used to share an experience before I came to this school as a lecturer. I used to have so many friends. But when I got here with all the demands on my time for lectures and other things, I discovered that I am not able to reciprocate, visit from friends, even from family members. Some of them misunderstood it and began to think that, oh, this man is proud, is arrogant. But they do not know that actually it is pressure on time. But then, whether I like it or not, it took a toll. So the reality is that, yes, we are busy, but those relationships are important for our own mental health, for our own peace of mind, for our own overall well-being. So how do we manage this, challenges, meeting your responsibilities on the in the of office, and then also meeting your responsibilities to other members that you belong to? So these basically are the things we will be looking at in this discussion. I'm sure even at your level, you'll be experiencing this. You are a member of a family, you are a member of a church, you are a member of a mosque, you are a member of one club or the other, and yet you are still a student. Juggling with all this to ensure that your relationships remain healthy is an issue that we should all engage. So basically, we are hoping that by the time we are done with this class, we will all be able to understand what social relationship means, and then we'll be able to understand the various forms of social relationships that we could enter into, and then how to communicate such a manner that we can build and strengthen our relationships at whatever level. And then especially we'll also be looking at strategies for navigating both face-to-face and online interactions. And again, we'll be looking at the cultural nuances, particularly within our own context here, and how these affect relationship dynamics. So basically, these are the things we'll be looking at. So we start with this major one, types of social relationships. And so the idea here is that when we understand these relationships, we'll be able to know how to manage them, to nurture them. And so we are saying that there are a number of these relationships. The first one is relationship at the family level, which we call family relationships. And so these ones relate to the connections we have with parents, with siblings, with extended family members, with in-laws. All these fall within the purview of family relationships. Like I said, these are very important relationships because the family, as we know, is the foundation of our lives. Our socialization starts from the family. The family is there for emotional support and stability. When every other person rejects you, it is at the family level that you're stabilized. You wake up every day, you go to confront challenges outside, you get back to the family to receive healing, to receive comfort, to receive support. It's also the family that gives us a sense of belonging. So this relationship is important, and it is important that we understand and strengthen it. If the relationship at the home front is good, chances are that the individual will be prepared and strong enough emotionally to be able to face the wars that living in a larger society, entail. So it's important that we understand the importance of relationship at this level, and we prioritize it. Relating with parents in a way that provides emotional support for both parties. The parents also need some measure of emotional support. They also need some sort of emotional balancing. They also need to be comforted. And it is our actions and our inactions that would either support or destroy the emotional health of the parents. Your siblings are also there. They need your support. If no other person is supporting them, the family, including you, should be able to provide support. Ditto for extended family, and then for the in-laws who have become members of family the moment marriage takes place. Please let me encourage you once again to mute your microphones. These interferences from the background are not helping our cause here. Let's mute our microphones. So even though the family obligations with the challenges it can be Herculean. So, but it's a thing that we need to do. We need to balance it. We must find a way to balance it because of the centrality of that relationship. How do we balance it? We must create time to be available to family members. For instance, in Nigeria, I know that most families meet quite often during significant events, maybe like Christmas, like New Year, like Easter, like birthdays, like marriages, like all those significant events are moments where family members come together to connect and then to renew their relationship and strengthen their bonds. No matter how busy, no matter how challenging our responsibility outside may be, it's important that we honor these events so that we can maintain that bond. So the next kind of relationship that we can reckon with is a relationship among friends. And so this is the one that is based on mutual affection, trust, and shared interests. Friends are people who connect based on mutual affection, and then they build trust, and then they have shared interests. It's also one important relationship that we must cultivate and that we must nurture. I have come to know that if you have cultivated good friends and you have nurtured that relationship, they will stay with you even into old age. Sometimes friends endure even beyond, as far as you live. You cultivated friendship maybe at primary school level, at secondary school level, at the university level, at the level of the fellowship, at the level of other associations, where you nurture them. In old age, these are the people who will also be around you, and then your old age will be happier. You have a happy old age because you will be in the midst of friends that you trust, that you are affectionate about, and then that you have shared interests with. And then let me also say that in life, friends have a way of lifting their friends. For instance, you are all students in the University of Lagos now. Among you, we will have governors. Among you, we will have ministers. Among you, we may have entrepreneurs and all kind of people. If the relationship is strong, if the bond is strong, the successful ones among you can lift up the unsuccessful ones. And that's why it's important that even though you are in the university to learn, you are not only learning, you are also supposed to build a relationship that will take you far. All these your classmates, don't take it for granted. Don't underestimate them. you don't know how far they can go. Consciously court them, consciously nurture your relationship by being honest, by showing integrity, by being trustworthy. If they see you like this from here, even after you have departed from here, they will look back and they say, this is a friend that we can trust. This is a friend that is reliable. This is a friend that is competent. And that's how you pull one another up. Students often have formed deep friendships through study groups. Yes, I know you are forming study groups. And then you are also joining fellowships on campus, whether it be Christian fellowship or Muslim fellowships, or you are joining social clubs and all those. Those organizations, you can connect there and make friends there, and then those friends you can nurture, and then you profit from later in life. These shared interests foster deeper bonds and endure throughout your university life and even beyond. So the third one is romantic relationships. And then I'm sure this is also clear, and this one involves emotional and physical intimacy. And they are often characterized by love, commitment, and partnership. Well, yet this is also one kind of social relationship. Many of you would come to the university. I have seen people who saw themselves in the university and who became couples after their university. It's possible. I have seen people who connected in fellowships and then became close, and then they became couples later in life. And then in different other settings. Romantic relationship is that relationship that is both emotional and physical. And so it comes with love, it comes with commitment, and then partnership. Why is this important? Romantic relationships are crucial for emotional fulfillment and support. In the Nigerian society, romantic relationships are often intertwined with cultural and familial expectations, especially regarding marriage. When this romantic relationship starts, it builds into something deeper. And then, of course, like it may culminate in marriage. Marriage is both social and cultural, and it's a thing that will also prioritize. So when you are in a romantic relationship, the bottom line, whether it is familiar relationship or you are family relationship, or it is what do you call it now, friendship relationship or romantic relationship, commitment, honesty, openness, integrity will nurture them such that they can yield something meaningful and enduring and productive. So how do we deal with the challenges, that can attend this type of relationship? And so here I was saying that negotiating personal desires with societal and familiar expectation can be tricky, especially given the strong cultural influence on dating, marriage, and family integration. The bottom line here is that, yes, you must have the capacity to balance societal expectations, cultural expectations, even in this your relationship, be it at the level of dating, at the level of marriage, and then other levels. At the level of dating, there are expectations. There are, behavioral expectations that you are expected to abide by. At the level of marriage, it's also important to meet those, expectations so that all would end well. In Nigeria, for instance, marriage proposals often involve elaborate cultural rituals and family approval. Look at that, family approval. family approval, because marriage often is not just between two individuals, it's between multiplicity of families, whether nuclear families and extended families alike. So there are cultural expectations that must be followed to consummate this. But what we have said now is there are already three types of relationship we have established. That one, social relationship, I mean, that at the level of the family, that at the level of friends, and then at the level of whether marriage or dating or whatever. But all of them requires certain behavioral conduct to make them yield a desired result. We'll be looking at this in the course of the lecture. Sorry. So this is the fourth type of relationships that we can envisage, and that is colleagues and professional relationships. Can you see it is graduating from the family level? You move to the level of friendship, then you move to the level of romance, and then you are moving to the level of work or professions. So we have professional relationships, which is the kind of relationship that obtains among colleagues, either at workplace, at academic settings. And at the heart of all this is teamwork. You know, sometimes we give assignments to students, a group assignment. The idea of giving group assignment to students is so that they can begin to learn team spirit. Because in life, you are going to be expected to work in teams to be able to succeed. When you get to the world of work, you will have teams that you will be working with. And if you do not have what it takes to work in a team, you will not be able to flourish. So at the level of the place of work, can we mute ourselves? Can we mute ourselves? Please. So we are saying here, at this level, whether as colleagues or professional, members, if I get interferences, I will not be happy, please. Can we mute ourselves? Can we mute our mics, please? All right. So I'm saying that at the level of colleagues and then professional relationships, we prioritize team spirit. We prioritize respect for one another. And then we prioritize the attainment of mutual goals. If you do not have what it takes at this level, no matter how brilliant you may be as a scholar, you will fail as a professional, because being successful as a professional is not just about being intelligent, but it's also about being able to operate in a manner that will accommodate other people's interests to be able to deliver on a task. That's the sense of teamwork. This is very important, therefore, that we understand the need to foster career development and then ensure, this, that we maximize networking opportunities through this team spirit. Team spirit also helps to serve as an essential for being able to collaborate in achieving, tasks that are laid before you. If you have operated in the corporate world, you know that team spirit is everything. If you can have it, you can go far. Oftentimes, the little input from team members, is what cumulatively will result in a mighty result that will help achieve tasks. Now, I know that when you are given assignments, you discover that sometimes other team members don't exhibit seriousness, and the responsibility falls on just one or two persons. That's wrong. The idea of teamwork is that everybody will participate because it's learning, it's training. If you avoid it here, you will still encounter it later in life. And that's when you discover that you would have shot yourself, wrongly by avoiding to take part in teamwork. So I want to encourage you that part of your training for the future is that you learn to be able to work together with other people. It will prepare you to be able to work together as a team in future. Is that okay? Okay, sorry. I think,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
okay. All right. So
Yes, sir.
now we have been able to establish 4 major forms of social relationships: family relationship, relationship as friends, romantic relationship, and then relationship, with professional colleagues. Very important. Now, how do we manage this? I'm starting with the communication skills that you need to be able to build healthy relationships at all the levels. We must be able to communicate effectively to be able to build healthy relationships, whether as friends or as members of a family or as, a couple or as people who are dating. There must be that effective communication skills that will help you manage the tendencies in such relationships. And so developing strong communication skills is very necessary for us to be able to manage and nurture our relationships. And so we are giving these tips that will help us, that ultimately, combine to constitute what we call effective communication. Communication is effective if it involves active listening. Active listening is a skill that we must consciously and intentionally cultivate. You must consciously cultivate the art of active listening. Some of us, when we are in a conversation, we are absent-minded, we don't listen actively, and it destroys the relationship faster than you can imagine, because it sends signal to the other person. If somebody is an intending business partner or a serious-minded partner who comes to approach you for something serious, by your body language and display of nonchalance in the course of communication, that will be enough to tell him this one is not it. This is not the person to take seriously. Active listening involves fully engaging with the speaker. Oftentimes, that's why we encourage eye contact. It shows that you are interested in what the other person is telling you. You are taking him seriously. You are paying attention to the message the person is passing across. And you are, giving signs that you are understanding what he's saying by responding thoughtfully, either by nodding or, using your body language to show presence of mind. Is important in a relationship. If people are not seeing this demonstration of interest in their presence in your life, and then your interest in what they are telling you, chances are that they will be pissed off and they will become disinterested in going ahead. Many relationships crumble because of this. So, why is it important? When you listen actively, you are able to build trust. You are able to strengthen bonds. And then you are able to show respect to the other party. If I'm talking to you and I have to force you to get your attention, it shows you don't regard me. It shows I'm not important. I'm talking to you, but you are busy, chewing something and then looking away and watching your phone and doing this. Man, you are not ready for conversation. You are not ready for anything meaningful engagement. I will just walk away. In many families, especially in Nigeria, when we speak with the elders, it is important that we listen actively. Elders will be pissed off if they are talking to you and you are distracted. You are not showing interest. You are paying attention to things that could wait. So children and younger individuals are taught to listen attentively. Pay attention, especially when the family elders offer advice or instructions. Your father is talking to you and you are scrolling on your phone, or you are signaling to a friend outside. What are you saying? It's disrespect. And I'm not sure any father will take that. Now, what are the other things you need to be able to manage and nurture your relationship? You need to be skilled in managing conflicts. There is no relationship that will not come with conflict. There will be conflict between children and their parents, father and son, mother and daughter, between siblings. There will be conflict between friends, between husbands and wives, and then between colleagues at work. If you don't have the tact to manage such conflict, there will be trouble. You'll be fighting in the office. You may be forced to resign. You may be forced to fight your father. You may be forced to fight your siblings, or even to walk away from home, or even to resign from work because there's a conflict that you can't manage. As social beings, we must understand that conflict is inevitable. Conflict must occur even between the closest of friends, between the best of friends. So we must consciously learn the art of managing conflict in a manner that is healthy and productive and that would strengthen the relationship. Conflict experts will tell you conflict is not bad. What is bad is the way we respond to the conflict. Indeed, conflicts help us to point to areas that need attention, areas that need to be fixed. The moment such conflict comes, what you will do is to understand what led to it and then address it. The moment you address it, the relationship becomes strengthened and it becomes a win-win for everybody. And that's why, even as individuals, we must learn the art of managing conflict. There are different strategies to manage conflict depending on the type of conflict you are dealing with. But in all conflicts, it's important that we stay calm. It's important that we stay calm and engage in active listening instead of shouting and then, hitting and stuff. It's important that you're calm. You are processing the situation. You are listening actively so that you can understand the missing link. And then you are also trying to ensure that you understand other people's perspectives. Some of us have a tendency of thinking that we are always right. We may not always be right. And if you are sincere and objective, you will discover that sometimes other people's perspectives may be superior to yours. It is strength to accept where you err and to apologize. When you notice that you are wrong, it is weakness to allow ego come on your way to apology. If you cannot apologize even when you are wrong, it's a show of weakness, not strength. Many of us think that, oh, when we don't apologize, we are being strong. No. If it's a relationship you cherish, and then when you fail to apologize when you should apologize, what you do is that you are destroying the ego of the other person. It can take it up to a point. A point will come when the person will just decide to walk away. And so, strength is in recognizing your weakness and then acknowledging that somebody has superior perspective. It's also in recognizing that when you are at fault, there is nothing wrong in saying, I'm sorry. Being sorry, and that word sorry, is a magical word that can heal any wound. So if you cultivate the art of being able to say sorry, you are indeed a warrior. You are indeed a champion, not the otherwise. So in Nigerian families, not just families, in all relationships, conflicts are often resolved through respectful dialogue. You must recognize that after every fight, conflicts are resolved at the round table where we discuss, where we try to understand what went wrong. After you have killed, you have maimed, you have destroyed, we resolve at the round table conference where people think through their actions and then reconcile. So why go to destroy when you could ordinarily have dialogue respectfully? So let's go on. So the other way of also managing your relationship or effective communication is, when you express your emotions effectively. Many of us don't know how to express our emotions in a manner that is effective. And so when we talk of effective expression of emotions, we are saying that we must be able to share our feelings in a manner that is very clear, in a manner that is very honest. And as we are doing that, we are also careful not to injure the emotions and the feelings of other people. Yes, you are angry with me. You can express your anger in a manner that is respectful, but that is clear and that communicates the way you feel, without destroying my own feeling, without offending me. When you communicate clearly and then with respect, chances are that you will get attention. Chances are that the other person will listen to you, and then you are able to reach maybe a common ground. So whether you are talking to your father or you are talking to your son, you must be concerned that you do not damage that person while you are expressing your distaste for maybe his or her conduct. Very important. Or you are talking to your fellow friend, you don't destroy him, you don't call him names, you don't label him because you are angry. You say, oh, I'm not happy with this behavior, please next time don't do it. You are conveying the way you feel without destroying the other person. You are conveying it respectfully. You are not raising voice, you are not shouting, you are not calling names. Whether it's with a boyfriend-girl relationship or with sibling relationship, even if the other person is younger, he also has feelings, he has emotions that can be injured. And so it's important that you do not destroy him or her because you are angry. You can express your anger responsibly, respectfully, clearly, in a manner that the message is sent. All right. So we go on. Now, how do we build networks? How do we maintain networks? I'm assuming that what we discussed up until this point is clear enough. But please take note of your questions and then your comments. We are going to accommodate all of them in the course of time. But let's have a smooth flow now so that we'll dedicate a time for all those. Now, building and maintaining social networks. We have established that social networks are very important. Very important. Somebody will say you cannot grow higher than your networks. You can't. Like I said, it is from those networks that your advancement will depend on. Because whether they are going to make you a minister, somebody would have recommended you. Whether they are going to put you forward as a governor, somebody would have recommended you. Whether they are going to, whatever position, you may be so good, but you don't have the right networks, or you don't nourish your networks. You remain unrecognized, you remain unsung all your life, except there is a divine hand that says, with or without, yes, I want to bless this one. But oftentimes, your growth is tied to other people's favor somehow. And that favor is a function of relationship. That's why we must consciously build relationships. We must consciously nurture relationships. Creating and maintaining strong relationships or strong networks requires proactive effort. I will call it intentional effort. It's intentional. I've seen people who will fly from here to Abuja to attend a friend's wedding. He may not even have money. He borrows money to go. He treasures that relationship. I've seen people take some risks for friends, for colleagues. Those are assets. In sociology, we call them, what do we call it now? There's a word we used to call that, or remember in the course of this class. Those are assets, social capital. They are social capital. Your relationship is your money. Your relationship is money. Because money, it is human beings that bring money. So if your relationship is well nurtured and nourished, money will come from there. So people have to invest even in relationship to sustain them. You invest your time, you invest your intellect, you invest your money, you invest your resource, because it is currency. We call it social capital. These connections provide support, they provide collaboration, and they provide opportunities for personal and professional growth. This is established. If you want to go far in life, you must be deliberate about building networks. Now, I don't want to mix politics with this class, but I think this example would help us. One thing that worked for the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is that over the years, he tried to build relationships across Nigeria, in the north, in the west, in the south, in the southeast, everywhere he has dependable friends. So that at the time of need, these networks were activated to his favor. This is also what happens in other spheres. It may not be politics. It may be, in business. It may be in other areas, but networks are very important. So how do you do that? You make friends.
Hello, mommy.
Making friends. And this involves connecting with others based on mutual interest, trust, and respect. And let me put, a caveat here. It's not because you want to build networks that you just make everybody your friend. There are friends that bring value, and there are friends that distract you. You must carefully choose your friends. There's a theory in sociology, I'm sure that as you grow, you will encounter it. I think they call it social exchange theory. Friends should be people that will add value, people that share similar vision, people that you know have the kind of value system that you have. You don't just gather all manner of baggage in the name of friends. You are strategic, you are intentional, you are careful in selecting. There must be interest, you must share interest. There must be people that are trustworthy. And then there must be people that also respect you and value you. It's very important. You don't just go and bring all manner of people. And so if you are going to be building friends, you are not going to be one lone ranger. Many of us are lone rangers. All we know is from library to the classroom, from classroom to the library. That's good, but there must be balance in life. Engage in activities or clubs that interest you. There are social clubs on campus that you can carefully choose based on interest. There you meet like-minded people. You could find friends there. It's not that you must have 1 million friends. It can be small group of friends, but impactful. That is goal-driven. Show genuine interest in others. Yes, you cannot be receiving, and you don't have something to give. What are you giving back? What is your contribution to that relationship? You must contribute something to sustain a relationship. You must listen, you must actively listen to your friends. Not that it's only me. Some of us are like that. Just give me. What are you giving to the relationship that when you are not there, people will know that, yeah, somebody is missing? Those are the issues that we should try to cultivate. Selfish characters can't manage relationship because it will not be long before people will know that these ones are selfish, and then they will just find their way. So this is one way to build networks. Consciously make friends. It can be, if you fellowship, you can get friends at the fellowship. You can get at all these clubs in school, whether man o' war club, whether boys brigade club, or whatever, all these clubs that exist there, apart from giving you leadership training qualities, they also provide you with opportunity to meet people that you can connect with for the present and for the future. Nigerian universities often form friendships by joining study groups. Look at study groups. How many study groups are you in? And are you active there? Are you just a receiver? Are you contributing? Religious organizations. Are you in any fellowship or cultural association? You have town unions and here and there. Are you active there? All those will help you create networks that would outlive your stay on campus. I left the university in 1988. Then there was no GSM. In fact, there were no mobile phones. But somehow, we reconnected, and that platform is one of the most active and lively platforms I enjoy. After every day's work, I retire to that platform, and I will laugh and I will laugh and I will laugh. Each time I want to connect, I'll connect with them. If I'm traveling to Abuja, I call, I'm coming, please, I'll go visit. Instead of going to the hotel to go and sleep, I go to somebody's residence to sleep. Those are networks that we built almost close to 30 years ago, if not more, from the school. So let's not trivialize these things because they matter. They matter. Okay? Now, the other thing is joining groups. I will build networks, although we discussed it earlier, but yes, joining groups provide opportunities to meet like-minded individuals and build meaningful relationships. Now, how do you do this? Apart from joining, take on leadership roles in community organizations. Yes, this one, like I said, will bring out latent qualities that perhaps you will not know you have. By the time you begin to manage, even starting from where you are here today, when you join all these organizations and begin to take leadership role, play leadership roles, you are preparing yourself. So I don't know how active our students' unions are again on campus, but unions used to be training ground for future leaders. Many of the people who became prominent in the political space were active union members. They would have gone through that process so that by the time they go to the larger society, it becomes easy to fit in even and occupy leadership position. So let's not hide ourselves. Whichever organization you find yourself, be active, provide leadership, whether officially or unofficially. It prepares you and it singles you out. It makes you noticeable. People are watching us. Wherever we are, people are watching us. And they know that this one can do this one cannot do this one will be able to do this. These are important. Participate actively in group events and initiatives. Many of us are victims of this. We just come to an environment, we come to a space, nobody notices us, we are done and we go. It's not helpful to us because the more active you are, the more networks you build and the healthier your future and the greater your prospects will be. Students engage in student union, activities, faith-based activities, cultural activities. All these, will help them build support tomorrow can become sick. Oftentimes, these networks will be the first point of call for support. This kind of support, comes to strengthen you. Or when there is one activity or the other, these ones are behind you. These are helpful. Now, how do you also, build networks? How do you also build networks? Volunteering. Growing up, this was something very popular. We were willing to do things without expecting reward. You volunteer, offer your time, offer your talent, offer your skill to benefit others, to serve others. When you do this, people are noticing, you are building networks, and then these networks will be for you and by you at the time of need. Volunteer for community service or charitable organizations. Like I said earlier, yes, you are here to learn. You are here to read. For learning, you are here to get education. Education is not just about reading and passing exams. In fact, there is more education that goes on in this setting outside of the classroom. When you connect with friends, when you interface with your groups, with your associations, with your networks, a lot of learning takes place there. Social development, emotional development, psychological development. When you add this to the intellectual development that takes place in class, you become a complete human being. You become a rounded person. If you make a first class and you fail socially, you are a failure. Let your success be complete by balancing the academics with the social. That's what makes you complete. And the way to do it is these associations and networks and the groups that you have to consciously join and nurture, because you will draw from them as social capitals in the present and in the future. So, for instance, the National Orientation, the National Youth Service Corps is a national program where young people serve their county through volunteer work, contributing to both. I was reading the account of Chidoka. Chidoka was a one-time minister in Nigeria and former former chief executive of the Road Safety Corps. I read that account and I was touched by it. From a poor background, a humble background, in a nation where you don't know, if you don't know somebody, nothing may happen to you positively. He made up his mind. When he was posted to Abuja to do his service, while in that service, I think he embarked on a community service. A community service that attracted the attention of not just the NYSC in Abuja, but also attention of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. It was a volunteer service, a free service rendered with his money as a copper, did he know that that would change the story of his life and then help him walk up to the point where he became the corps marshal of the road safety, eventually ended up as a minister of the Federal Republic at a very, very young age? Volunteership or volunteering can be a way to build network. Let us not always be thinking about immediate reward, immediate reward, immediate reward. There is community service. There is a place of volunteering to serve others. As you are serving others, you are acquiring skills, you are touching lives, and you are warming your way to the heart of people, and then you are building a pool of networks that you can draw from tomorrow. So now, as we draw closer, or we enter the second hour, let us now look at how we can manage social media relationship. You know, social media today has almost taken over the place of face-to-face relationship. You are having 1,000 followers, 5,000 followers, 1 million followers, and all those. The social media today plays a very important role in shaping relationships. Yes. However, managing online interaction requires specific strategies to avoid misunderstanding and promote positive communication. You see, many of us on the social media space, we don't draw the line between what is private and what is public. We don't draw the line at all. Oftentimes, social media has been the source of the destruction of many, beautiful relationships. So even as we are, and then there's nothing we can do about social media. It's one development that all of us must find a way to manage and then utilize in a manner that does not destroy. The social media is a two-edged sword. If you don't understand it and if you don't manage it in a manner that will be meaningful, it could destroy you and destroy any relationship you have. Therefore, it's important that we consciously, find a way to manage, social media relationships. And how do we do it? How do we do it? It's important that we avoid misunderstandings and promote positive communication as we engage in this space. So there are etiquettes even for online interaction. And when we talk of etiquette, we are saying that online etiquette involves engaging in respectful and mindful interactions in the digital space. Many of us are reckless. Many of us are careless. What many of us do not know that if I want to know about you, all I need to go is to go to your social media page. Your social media page will tell me whether you are serious-minded, you are loose, you are irresponsible, you are honest, or you are dishonest. Sorry about that. So we need to understand that. There's what they call background checks. If you're applying for a job today, almost every employer will go to your social media account to check you out. And so what they find there will determine whether you'll be given a job or you'll not be given a job. Somebody who wants to marry you, for instance, will also go check your social media account, whether it's going to go ahead or it's not going to go ahead. Anybody who wants to give you a job or consultancy or whatever, they have to go and check your social media account. I was somewhere last week for an assignment, and then when we were being introduced, after the introduction, there was an aside discussion between me and one of the managers of the place. If I would say anything, he has told me that, oh, I've checked you out on your social media page. I know that you are an associate professor. I say, yes. So did you see it? He has already gone to check who I was. That's how what the social media does. You are going for visa interview or you're applying for visa, they will go check your social media account. And so it's important that you understand how to, navigate the social media space in a manner that is responsible, in a manner that does not destroy your future and your chances. You must engage in respectful and mindful interaction. For some of us, all we do on social media is insult, insult, insult. All we do on social media is discuss ideas that are divisive, and divisive. We discuss hate and hate and hate. That's all we do on social media. We post things that do not, portray a mind that is serious. So all this will give you out at the appointed time. So what do? Many of us share too much information, personal information. You went to buy a wristwatch, it's on the social media. You went to have dinner, it's on the social media. You went to the bank, it's on social media. You have a haircut, it's on social media. Your child is graduating, it's on social media. This is happening. The picture of your parlor is on social media. Everything about you 100% is on social media. You want to trend. That's fine, but wait for the counter effect. Let's avoid oversharing personal information on the social media. Respect other people's privacy and opinion. Some of us always think that we have lies. Sorry, I'm in a class. I'll call you back. Sorry, can you still hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's meet ourselves. So, hello? Okay, that's fine. So that's the point I was just trying to make. Please, many of us arrogate knowledge to ourselves. We think that our opinion should be final. You don't even know anything. There are better opinions than your own. So respect people's views, respect people's opinions, and above all, respect people's privacy. I don't know why you should come and be discussing another person's private life on the social media. Just as you should not discuss your private life on social media, please don't intrude in other people's lives in the name of the social media space where there is no regulation or whatever. Then be mindful of your tone and language. I just spoke about many of us are experts in promoting hate and division and bitterness, ethnic division, religious division, all manner of division and bitterness, always, many of us are harbingers of negative news. All the things that give us orgasm is when we promote negative news. All those matter because it is a mirror to your heart. It's a mirror to your heart. The Bible, for instance, for those of us who are Christians, will say, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Everything you write and you say on the social media is, if an externalization of what is bottled in your heart. So it's important that even in this digital space, we conduct ourselves respectfully, responsibly, and then in a manner that shows that we are decent people. Sometimes I try to compare what obtains on our social space with what obtains in the social space of some other countries. And I say, I'm not sure they are the same. When you watch TikTok from China, from Japan, you discover that they engage constructive issues and subjects that pertain to national development. But watch our TikTok, our so-called content creators and the skit makers. Check what is trending or the things that are trending. The things that, trivial and, things that add no value to anybody. People are watching and laughing, but you ask yourself cumulatively, how do all these things impact society in a manner that society should be going? People will say, oh, because there's no job, because of the... Yes, you could use the social media space to promote things that, are meaningful. In the absence of all this nonsense that are trending, those ones will trend. So, now, are there boundaries in digital interactions? Yes, there should be boundaries. And so boundaries in digital interaction involve limiting the amount of personal information shared and then managing screen time effectively. Yes, talking about managing screen time effectively. It's a danger that is happening already. Reading culture is dead. You are seeing that if you quantify the amount of time that we spend on the phone, not doing things that are constructive, you will be amazed. I'm not sure anybody is reading anything anymore. So, but I'm not sure this is healthy for society and even for you. I was in a space somewhere last month, and then what I saw was a person promoting a particular culture. One book, 1 month. Read a book a month. A book on personal development, a book on financial prosperity, a book on investing wisely, a book on things that matter. 1 month, make sure that you read at least one book beyond the books we read in school. At least one book. You are developing, but the phone will not allow us to do that. Many of us keep late nights. We sleep 2, 3 o'clock. Doing what? Chatting our lives away. Doing what? Streaming all manner of films. That's what we do. There should be boundaries in digital interactions, so that apart from not pouring everything about yourself onto the social media. You're also managing your screen time in a manner that is productive. In a manner that is productive. So, how do we do this? Set boundaries for who can contact you and how. Use privacy settings to control what others can see about you. This is important. And then also determine that you allocate your time in a manner that is productive. If you are using your phone or your screen to do something productive, that's all right. But if it's only that you are using it to while away time and do things that you know that when you sit down and ask yourself questions, you are not productive, then you need to, watch that. In, more traditional Nigerian societies, balancing online interaction with face-to-face engagement remains important. I think it's important. We prioritize our our social media friends over and above our, other relationships that require face-to-face interaction. But I'm not sure that that's right. It's important that we balance that. You come to the family, everybody is online. Husband is online, wife is online, children are online, nobody is talking. And it's taking a toll on the bonding that is required, it's taking a toll on, the fun that comes with face-to-face interaction. It's important that we balance these two. We need to balance these two. Now, there's this concept about digital citizenship. And then this simply refers to the responsible and ethical use of technology and online platform. Look at it, responsible. We should underscore this, responsible and ethical use of technology. When you talk of ethical, it means that there is the right way to use technology that is acceptable morally, socially, professionally. Ethical way, the right way to use technology and online platforms. Many of us, go online to bully others, to harass others. That is not ethical. That's not appropriate. Of course, you know that cyberbullying is a crime. So, as much as possible, what I tell people is that the moment you are a university undergraduate, you have been separated from the ordinary people in society. The university is supposed to be a training ground for the best of the society. And so for those of us who are in the university, we need to see ourselves as, belonging to a class of people who are considered privileged and invited to be prepared as solution providers to society's problems. Every university undergraduate is a potential leader, and leaders are trained to be solution providers. You are being trained to, move beyond the realm of being a problem to society to becoming, a solution to society. And you cannot be a solution to society by behaving irresponsibly, even in the digital space. You must avoid cyberbullying. You must avoid online harassment of people. Indeed, you are expected to be contributing positively to online communities and discussions. See yourself as a leader who should be able to provide solutions. Instead of lamenting and crying and weeping out sentiments, yours should be to begin to provide leadership and then provide solutions through your discourses on social media. That's the expectations. You see, online discussions sometimes touch on sensitive cultural or religious topics. It's crucial to approach such discussions with respect and understanding to prevent unnecessary conflicts. Very important. You just jump onto a discussion that you met online and you are adding, you are complicating issues there. That does not belong, or you don't belong to that anymore. You should be, each time you engage in any discussion, you must first of all understand the context, understand the subject, and then your contribution should be such that would be positive and provide solutions and point people to solutions than complicating and fueling bad situations. So, how do we navigate, challenging social situations? Yes. Relationships often face challenges. I already alluded to that, such as bullying, such as gossip, or even exclusion. It's important that we understand when these things begin to happen, and then we also understand how to handle them in a manner that is constructive, such that at the end of the day, the relationship is not destroyed, but is strengthened and then made healthy. So when bullying is involved, and of course you know the meaning of bullying, which is unwanted aggressive behavior that can both be physical, it can be verbal, it can be often, you can take the form of cyberbullying, but it's just a kind of behavior and then attitude towards you that you don't like. Harassment, intimidation that makes you uncomfortable. It can happen physically, it can happen verbally. People making remarks that don't sit well with you. That's bullying. Or even pushing you and then doing stuff like that. Those are indications of bullying. They happen in our relationships. Sometimes you present yourself as an underdog and then create room for people to bully you. Or sometimes the other person is just a natural bully and then derives pleasure in bullying. When it happens, what do? The first thing is to stand up for yourself. Don't allow anybody bully you. What I discover is that most bullies are themselves cowards. The moment you stand up to them, they run away. They run away. You get it? If you watch Natural World and Animal World, you see lions bullying other animals. There are few occasions where such animals fight back. You see the lion running. Bullies are not always as strong as they pretend to be, but they just know that maybe you don't have confidence in yourself and then you are one timid guy, so they bully you. But if you stand up for yourself, they will not bully you again. So one way to do it is to stand up for yourself. However, when you assess the situation and it's such that Maybe you are not able to deal with standing for yourself. You need to seek support from trusted, trusted friends. You are in one here. Chances are that many of you would encounter this kind of experience. Please ensure that you don't succumb to bullies, because the moment you succumb to bullies, there will be no end to it. They will take it beyond that and begin to even take advantage of you financially, sexually, and the like. So when you discover that you are not in a position to stand up to them for one reason or the other, or based on your own assessment, please don't hesitate to seek support from trusted friends. Or even in the case of a school like this, even from the authority, beginning from the departmental level. Report bullying to relevant authorities. Yes, don't let it fly. Don't let it slide. When you are bullied, it's important that you must, be part of taming it. And one way to tame it is to report things like that. You have your course advisors at the level of, the school. You have perhaps the HOD and things like that, so that people can, deal with that bully and then put him or her where he belongs or she belongs. Peer pressure and bullying can occur in many schools, and they do occur, including universities. So we need to, understand it and then to seek help from the appropriate, quarters. At the family level, please also report bullies so that they can be dealt with. It's very important. Awareness and seeking help from authorities or family members are essential for addressing bullies in our society. Sorry. Sorry. Now, the other thing that can occur is gossips. And then, of course, you know that gossip involves spreading unverified false information about others. People thrive on gossips, whether on the social media or even in real life, situations. Some people just enjoy spreading falsehood about certain individuals to make them uncomfortable, to mess up their character, to paint them bad before other people. One who must recognize that it's wrong to spread rumors. As an individual, it's wrong to spread, rumors. It shows weakness of character to be a rumor monger. Why say what you did not hear or what you don't know about? Why talk of others in a negative light, especially when they are falsehoods? It's wrong to spread rumor. You cannot build networks where you are a gossiper. You cannot build networks where you are a bully. Your case will be, singled out, and then you will be excluded. Nobody wants to be a friend to a gossip or a rumor monger. No. So if you are going to build and nurture a relationship in a manner that it becomes profitable, you must stay away from bullying. You must stay away from spreading falsehood about other people, spreading rumors about other people, because society has a name for people who are rumor mongers. I think among the Yorubas they call them, is it Amebo, Gbeburu? They have a name. Those are not positive slangs. And the moment you're already qualified like that, you are limiting your chances in life, because people will see you based on that perception of you. So avoid spreading rumor or falsehood about your friends, about people in your networks. Because if you tell me what is false about Mr. A, I'm likely to tell Mr. C what you said about Mr. A. Before you know it, Mr. A will hear what you have said. That's the way it works. Now, apart from avoiding spreading rumor, you must also confront gossip when necessary. I mean, why are you making yourself available to listen to rumors or to gossip? You have become an accomplice. When you stop somebody who has come to gossip to you today, tomorrow he's not coming to gossip to you again. Let's focus on promoting transparency and honesty. In that group you are, be a champion for transparency. Let people know you for honesty and integrity. Let it be that people can vouch for you. That, yeah, this guy is not capable of doing this. I know him. He's not capable of doing it. He cannot do this evil that you are thinking. It will go far. Gossip is prevalent in workplaces, including this university. It's prevalent among friends, people who call themselves friends. They backstab, they gossip against one another, they spread falsehood against one another. Those kind of things cannot endure. They are not healthy. Those kind of friendships are not the right type of friendship that you should find yourself in. If you find yourself in a circle where gossip thrives or where bullying is the order of the day, you don't belong there. It's not productive. To address gossip, we require maturity, and we require to focus on open and honest communication so that there will be no misunderstanding at all. Being able to handle gossip is a sign that you are matured. But if you are a rumor monger, it shows that your mind is infantile. You are still a baby the way you think. Gossips don't belong to mature minds. Gossip don't belong to people who are responsible. Those who carry gossips are little minds. And you don't want to be categorized as one of those who is of little mind. The other thing that can happen in networks and relationships is exclusion. Exclusion. This is when you are left out, you are part of a group, but you are left out. You are marginalized. Nobody is carrying you along. They are taking decisions over and above you. You are just like a passenger. It happens. And you know one reason why you can be excluded? You can be excluded if you are not relevant, if you are not active, if you are not impacting the group positively. They will sidetrack you. You get it? If you are a gossip, they will avoid you. If you are a bully, they will avoid you. If your presence is not providing value, is not adding value, they will avoid you. So how do you do this? Ensure that you add value. Ensure that you add value. And then if you are the one who is at the driver's seat, ensure that everybody is given opportunity to be heard. We are giving everybody opportunity to participate, and then that everybody is given the respect he desires or he deserves. Don't treat your mates with disrespect. Don't treat anybody with disrespect. That's the way of avoiding exclusion. When you exclude people, you distance them and they can walk away. To avoid excluding people, ensure that at all times everybody is given the opportunity, to participate. And then everybody is respected. Even if somebody has said what may not help, still respect that person's view in a manner that he doesn't feel that is ignored. In Nigeria, we put a lot of emphasis on hospitality, which can be a tool to counter social exclusion. This is particularly evident in community settings. So when you receive everybody and serve everybody, exclusion will be out of it. We are winding down so that we can use like 20 minutes to have a discussion. So let us conclude now by looking at summarizing all that we have done so far. So we discussed social relationships, how to, first of all, to understand what they mean, the various types, and then the importance of nurturing them and managing them in a manner that is productive, that is healthy, that is beneficial. We talked about building networks that will endure, and then how you can form friendship, how you can actively participate in groups and how you can volunteer as ways of building the network and the kind of support base that you can draw from. We say that social networks are social capital and that they are currencies that you can draw from in the present and in the future. And that even though there's so much pressure on our time, given the competing demands on our time, social networks and social relationships are important, things that we must nurture because they provide stability. They give us a feeling of wellness. They give us a sense of belonging. We need these things to be complete socially, emotionally, psychologically, and they can also even be resources for economic empowerment and personal career growth. These are basically what we have discussed, and we thought that if we understood all this and then communicate all this properly, will all be the better for it. So on this note, I want to say that this is the end, but before we look at, I have a set of questions which would look at, but before then, let me leave the floor open to hear your reactions and then your questions, and then we can go back and conclude with that. We have barely 20 minutes to go. So the floor is open. Indicate by raising up your hand. We'll recognize you, and then okay, so I can see Thomas Daniel Oluwagbemiga. Can we take your reactions?
Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for the class, sir. I have a question, sir.
All right.
That's good.
My question is, how do sociological approaches approach the issue of believe marriage in terms of like the couple about to get married have different families, of course, and their families are opposing each other with different ideologies, different beliefs, and so they cannot allow the marriage to hold. How do we solve that from a sociological point of view?
Okay, thank you. All right, so we are saying that two families are opposed. Maybe they are coming from different religious backgrounds, and because of that, they are not agreeing to marry,
Yes, sir.
allowing the marriage to hold.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for that. Let me throw. Okay, let's note that one. We'll answer that. Toyib, can we hear you? Toyib, ask your question. Let's collate and then we'll respond and then take it.
My question is that in a family that's the particular person, like
No,
father or
say it again. I can't hear you well.
okay, I said that in a family, if one of the person like father is a bad influence to a person, and the person wants to gain social relationship, how can the person get it or just understand?
You are breaking. I didn't get you properly.
I said that maybe the particular person is bad influence to the person, like an important person, like father or mother, and the person wants to maintain a social relationship between
Okay.
him and the particular person. What strategy that
Okay. So maybe your father is bad to you. Is that what you're saying? And you still want to
yes, something like
maintain relationship with him. What should you do? Okay.
this.
Okay. Any other question? Any other question? Is anybody raising his hand? Is there anybody? Okay. Yeah. Who is raising hand? Anybody? All right. So the first question is, there are two families of different religious faiths, and then because of this religious faith, they are not allowing their children who are in love to marry because of this. Okay. Well, there are cultural expectations. There are religious expectations. First of all, these are religious homes, whether Christian religion or Islamic religion. We need to be guided by what the holy books have said. You get it? Parental consent is a necessity. And so I have had that experience before. I know of two young people, a boy and a girl, who were in love and who wanted to marry. One family was Catholic and the other family was Pentecostal. Both parents resisted the marriage for almost 3 years. But because those people wanted to do what was proper, obtaining parental consent, they waited for that long. What did I say about conflict resolution? Almost every conflict will end in a roundtable discussion. and there will be dialogue, and there will be common ground. So I will not be one of those who will say ignore parents. I will not be one of those who will say that. I know that parents themselves are also human, and there are people who they are also accountable to. So if we do the proper, what do I call it now? If we reach out to the right people, and then there's a proper dialogue and education and communication, I'm sure both families will be able to reach a common ground. The tendency is to say ignore them and go ahead, and over time they would come along. Well, it's a possibility, but I'm not sure it's the standard. You get it? I think it's better to start on a right foot as far as marriage is concerned. And if those are your parents, and then I'm sure if there are dialogues and conversations over time, and maybe there's the education over time, people would realize that, um, you know, you are not embarking on a journey that nobody has embarked on before. And so I would urge for patience, and then for the involvement of other third parties that are influential to be able to mediate in a matter like this. Resolving conflict in a manner that provides room for future relationship is important. So that's what I would say as far as that is concerned. Then a father that is bad, how do you maintain relationship? Well, I cannot provide a general one answer that fits every situation. It depends on what you define as being bad. It depends on what you define as being bad. But if a father is in your life, if a father has played a role in your life, there is still a place you reserve for him. It may not be as intimate, it may not be as healthy as it should have been, but you must recognize he's your father. You must accord him some measure of respect as your father, even though you do not think that he would get the maximum benefit he should have gotten if the relationship was better. But in any case, I also still think that no situation is beyond redemption. If we have the heart to forgive, if we had the heart to, pardon, maybe your idea of being bad, or it was not there when you were suffering, it was not there when you were struggling, and suddenly he's showing up. You have to understand, why was he not there? Was it act of wickedness or whatever? Because a father, a father, I don't know if a father would just deliberately choose to be wicked to the son out of hatred. There must be a circumstance that may have triggered that. So it's important to understand that circumstance. It's possible that in the circumstance he was at the time you needed him, he couldn't do more than he has done. So we must be able to look into it carefully, and then be able to put ourselves in their shoes, and then be able to let go and forgive. Even though you may not give him all the privileges I should have given, but maintaining a relationship, and then providing the support and the respect that he should get as a father will be fine. That's the way I think. But it's also open to discussion in this. Were those answers meaningful to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I need this class to speak up. Did you get my feedback?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I have a
Say,
question.
or do you think that there can be another way to have it? Where, first of all, comment on the Okay. Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. This is my
Go
question,
ahead.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, you talk about gossiping as a negative, but I want to ask, sir, is there a way we can use gossip as a tool to how can I put it, to improve? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Because
To improve relationship.
No, not relationship, sir. I'm talking about maybe work, maybe someone gossiping can actually say something that, okay, out of our own gossiping, we can only pick it, we can also pick it to improve on our work. I don't know how to put it more.
Okay. So first of all, what is gossip? What is gossip?
Gossiping is I think my own non-this. I think gossiping is let me say biting or
backbiting or doing what?
I don't really know how to put it, sir.
Gossip. Look at what it says here. We are saying gossiping involves spreading unverified or false information about others. You are saying something you don't even know about. You just heard. You don't even know if it's true. It may be untrue at the end of the day. I think gossiping is a mark of immaturity. It's a mark of weakness. What are you going to gossip about that you cannot walk up to the person to ask or to say? I don't want to think that, there's any way we can make gossiping look positive. No. You are just spreading on very things you just heard. You don't even know whether it's true. You have not confirmed it. And then you are telling other people about it. It may turn out not to be true tomorrow. You're just spreading information that may not be correct. By the time you realize it, you would have damaged somebody's reputation beyond remedy. It's a mark of weakness. That's my take on that. Is that all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Are there other questions? Or yes, Ayola. Okay, Ayola, you have spoken. You have just spoken. Daniel,
Yes,
I can see your Daniel. I can see your hand.
All right, good morning, sir. So, sir, you said gossiping. Is gossiping exactly in use? Can we also say gossiping is something that has been confirmed to be true? We've seen it that it is true, but we are also speaking it, maybe in most likely not speaking it in front of the person, but speaking it with other people. Can that also be considered gossiping, or is there another name for it in sociology?
Okay. So, it has been confirmed. You are saying, okay, it has been confirmed and verified that it is true, but you have no confidence to say it to that person.
Not exactly
Is
not
that what
having confidence. Not exactly not having confidence to say to the person, but let's say we just in a societal, like in a social setting now. For example, boys dragging, that's like wearing feminine, like female clothing and all of those kind of things. We see them.
Say it again.
Like boys wearing female clothing, makeups and all of them, and wigs and all of them. We see them, but we don't say it to them, but we like kind of like have these conversations with our friends and all of this kind of things. Sometimes they could be in our classes, I wouldn't talk to them about it, but we'll go to talk to another person about it and all of this kind of thing. Is that also still considered gossiping?
So first of all, I just need you to come to terms with the definition of gossip. What is gossip? Let's draw a line between gossip and then just spreading, complaining about a particular situation that you think is not right. Let's draw a line between that. We are talking about falsehood or unverified information as gossip. Like just telling stories that you don't know whether they are true or not about people just to damage them. Then it's different from, oh, I have fact about this person, it's true, and then you are complaining about it. Let's draw a line. Are you there?
Yes, sir. All right.
Okay. So that's the context we must take this. All right. Ngozi, can I hear you? We have 3 minutes.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
So, please, sir, how do we cope in an environment or in a group whereby if we want to make suggestions or want to contribute, then people like always shut us up? Do we still strive to like continue to give our own contributions, or we just go back in our shell?
Okay.
Are we able to cope in that kind of setting?
Those who are shutting you up, will you call them that they are bullying you? Will they be bullying? So I think there are ways. You don't go back to your shell. You don't go back to your shell. Maybe you could wait, and then maybe at the end of the thing you could approach whoever is shutting you up to say, I don't like this. For all you care, the person may not even, it may just be one of those things, but you must speak up. If you cannot speak up there, not violently, maybe wait for an auspicious time and then get recognition. But if you are not giving recognition, when it is done, you can walk up to the person or to the group to say, this was wrong. We're talking about effective communication. You will communicate to the person effectively to say, well, what you did today, I didn't find it funny. Please don't do this again next time. I will not take it lightly. You get it? You don't withdraw to your shell. You have to be hard, but you don't have to be violent about it. If you make effort to speak and they are not giving you audience, they'll fight, but wait for an appropriate time to walk up to whoever did that to say, what happened today wasn't okay by me, and please ensure it doesn't repeat. So you just have to speak up. Is that all right? You don't withdraw to your shell. That will be, cowing you, and that's not right. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Toyib. Okay, Flourish, George. I think, Toyib, we have spoken. We have just 1 minute. Flourish, can we hear you? Flourish. If you are not ready, I transfer you to Toyib. We have Flourish, talk.
Good morning, sir. I wanted to ask, under the challenges of social relationship, can propaganda be correlated with gossiping also?
How do you mean now? Propaganda. Well, tell me a bit about propaganda.
No, propaganda is more like, to my understanding, is more like also like spreading a false statement or exaggerating it to an extent to either win a favor for a particular party. So that's
So propaganda. I think that we should be guided. We are saying that whichever relationship we find ourselves, honesty is important. Integrity is important. Being truthful is important. Will propaganda agree with all these qualities? Will you agree with them?
No, sir.
Okay, so please let's desist from things that reduce from integrity, that detract from honesty and the truth. Let's be known for the truth. Let's be known for being honest. Let's be known for demonstrating integrity at all times. Gossip does not agree with that. Propaganda does not agree with that. Bullying does not agree with that. Anything that negates these qualities of integrity, openness, and then honesty and truthfulness are not for us if we want to nurture our relationship, because those propaganda would crumble over time and the true picture will show, and people will know that you were never truthful after all. Are we there? Okay, we have short past our time. Let me give Stephen this last opportunity, and that will be the last. I'm going to share this slide with the class governors. I'll find a way to send it across to the class governors so that it can get to you. You will see the discussion questions there and then attempt it on your own. But who was that? I wanted one person, but that person is gone now. Okay, Miriam, maybe you should be the last person and we'll go.
So I wanted to ask that in your class, how do we mark attendance? Are we to drop it in the chat box?
I saw you dropping all your names on the chat box. I want to believe that all of you have dropped your names on the chat box, your names and your matric numbers. Please do that before you leave. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So on this note, can I say that I have done my work this afternoon?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you have, sir.
Okay.
Explicitly
So,
well.
all right. So God bless all of you. See you again some other time.
Thank you, sir.
God
Thank
bless
you very
you.
much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Have a good day, sir.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank God.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
That's fine. Thank you so much.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Oh, crazy people. Man, come on for this class. Yeah, you on this Fortnite, eh? Me they give up.